Hey, what's your most proudest creation so far?
Proudest commission?
Creation.
Yeah,
Oh, creation? Oh,
Yeah.
man, that's a hard question, man. That's like
Yeah, Taro,
asking
that's
who's
like,
your
who's
favorite
your
child.
favorite kid?
No,
You
but
know?
I wanna,
Who's your
well,
favorite
maybe,
kid? Which you know?
some of your favorite ones that you've done in the past. That maybe,
John,
how about that?
can you talk about the Dodge?
Oh yeah, I mean, that's definitely one of them because anything that is connected to me personally would be something that I think I would cherish more, just because if I create a rendering for any of my personal car, I think and then I see it happening and coming into fruition and becoming a reality, that definitely hits different more than any other client work. The Dodge Challenger was, man, that was a trip. I grew up and I was always into JDM cars and European cars, but never a domestic guy. So I have no clue at all in that whole scene what it's all about. And at the time, though, that when Dodge released that Dodge Challenger, it was 2008, and then they had a big promotion to um, to release a manual version of the Challenger, because it was automatic at first at the launch date. And then they had a design competition to where you come up with like cool graphics for this new car. And I thought, hey, it's fun. Let's give it a try. And I came up with this flames. I thought maybe hot rods, domestic, they're always kind of intertwined. So instead of doing the old school hot rod flames, I thought let's do a more realistic version of it. So I put flames all over the car. I had no idea what I was doing. And then, but turns out that's what they loved. And they sent me a notification saying that I won the car and they're building it in real life. And I couldn't believe it. And I was just like, wow, man, that's awesome that, I won. And I was like, oh no, I actually will have to drive this super crazy loud cars. And if you know me, I don't, all my cars have been very low key and always been like either black, white, or silver. I just don't like, like super crazy looking cars, for myself. So, and then when we saw the car fully built, it had all the crazy flames and everything in it. And yeah, I think now that on the screen, what you can see is
Yeah.
there you go. That's exactly how the car. Well, that was one of the renderings that I did to help the painters, because they actually had to airbrush all those flames onto the car. So I kind of did a few renderings after, and then that's how the car looked like.
Not exactly quiet.
No, not at all.
Looks like something from a comic book, man.
It was so wild. I was like, I never had to where I would drive in the freeway, people would be like looking. I'm like, my gosh, this is kind of crazy. And at the time, Challenger just came out too, so nobody had that, fixed up Challenger. And then Maguire's, with RJ came along and they offered to wrap the car and sat black with her. And I was like, hey man, sign me up. I thought it was cool. So
There you
so
go.
the actual flame job, it's still underneath that wrap.
Right.
And then we went with that matte black wheels and matte black wrap. It was much calmer. I think more my style without the flames and everything. And then every car that I would own or whatever, I would imagine how would this car look. So I would always create renderings before I buy parts, like that one right there, to where you thought, oh, maybe we can do like a matte black with a vintage gold wheels, more very, very retro looking. And so we thought, 5-spoke wheels from SSR wheels was, would fit the whole build. It's not pure domestic builds from wheels to the body and everything, but it was a kind of a mix, because SSR of course it's a Japanese wheel.
Yeah.
With
There you
James
go.
SSR, and we were able to spec out the right offset for the car, and even put air suspension on the car. And
Mhm.
yeah, so the time that we did this, like people were like, is that a Photoshop car, or is that car not real? Is that a video game car? No, it's actually real, because it just looked really wild from at the time, and not too many cars were doing it this way. I think a lot of people were gravitating towards more of the dub style, to where they're going 20, 22s, 23-inch wheels, fully polished wheels. But I went the other way, to where it's like more toned down bronze, gold, vintage gold wheels, and just kept it kind of simple.